Don't forget, guys, that one of these players is going to be eliminated after this best of 5, so Polt has to work from a deficit now. He is our red Terran over on the right-hand side of ESV Sanshorn Mist, and his opponent up 1-0 at the moment. On the left side of the map is our green Terran player, Fnatic Raid Call Rain.
So, what is Polt going to do this time? I mean, after someone beats you with a cheesy, a cheesy opening in the first game, you're kind of thinking to yourself, all right, well, now what should I expect? I mean, should I expect something cheesy again? Obviously, he's probably going to be a little bit more diligent with his scouting this time, a little bit maybe overly diligent with his scouting, but also play a little bit more safely. I don't think we're going to see a command center first from him. If we do, he's totally metagaming it, being like, all right, you don't think I'm going to go command center first, but I am going to go for command center first because I don't think you're going to cheese, because you wouldn't cheese in the second game. So there's a lot of thought process going on behind the scenes with these two players right now, and it always happens after that first game one like it was, and especially in a mirror matchup on top of all that.
Well, we'll see what pops out about these players. Rain is not sending his SCV forward this go-around, just patrolling it back and forth, so we can build a barracks inside of his base, so nothing out of the ordinary. Polt walling off, as he loves to do. I see him pretty much wall off all the time. There's very few circumstances where he doesn't. And in addition, one of those players who loves putting his command centers on the low ground after fast expands.
Yep. Yeah, he's not worried at all about defending that. And it looks like we've got barracks and gas at the normal timing for Rain, so no super cheesy early openings from our green Terran player this time around, so Polt should be just fine here.
Well, we'll see what ends up popping out after this, though. If it's going to be 2 gas variant, 1 base, strong tech all-in build for Rain, or if he is going to just open with something like a Reaper expand. He has left a space for an add-on, as you guys can see up at the front wall, so we'll see what gets added on for that.
I think Reaper expand is a great option. In fact, he has just enough gas to throw down that tech lab. That's kind of the idea here. So yeah, it looks like it will be Reapers from Fnatic Rain. Now, he's got a couple things he can do with this. He can either do that Reaper expand that we were talking about, go for the command center after he starts making those Reapers, or he can go for something like Reaper Hellion Medevac, which is something we've seen him do in the past, something that is still a bit popular in TVT, so we'll have to see. He's got a couple different options. First Reaper should come up pretty soon, though.
Yep, and it is on the way now, but we already have second gas coming up for Rain before Factory is put down, so strong 1 base play out of him once again. We'll see what tech he goes to, if it's going to be Cloak Banshees, if he's just going to go right to a Banshee Tank Marine push off of 1 base. There's a lot of options at his disposal.
Well, generally, if you're going to go for a second gas after you start making Reapers, it usually ends up being that Reaper Hellion Medevac build, and this is a good map for it, too. Let's take a look at Polt's main base, kind of look at it on the edge where Rain can try to abuse that. There's that little platform that you can lift up on, and then there's also other areas besides where you can just kind of elevator things up on, jump up with Reapers, move your medevac up to gain vision. So it's a type of map that build could work pretty well on. Polt, though, has to be aware of that, so you can bet he's going to be looking for it.
And Rain actually checking around the map for the time being for some sort of structures that are placed out there. And I love how he's taking, I was about to point out this path here, because this is Reaper jumpable, just like this landing pad is. And a lot of people watch the landing pad, as we can see Polt is, but not a lot of people check this very back path. So kind of a cool decision from Rain to go right there.
Yeah, quite true. I think he's kind of looking, too, to make sure that Polt doesn't have anything out there to scout for the type of build that he wants to do early on as well. And look at this. Rain building 2 more barracks down on the low ground. Interesting. Or no, the starport and the factory, rather, down on the low ground. And Reaper speed. Oh, he's really going all out with this. Yeah, it's going to be speed Reapers, Hellions, and Medevacs. Very, very cool build. Boxer was one of the first people I believe I remember seeing doing this build. And since then, it's been done by people like Nada. I think we even saw MKP do it a couple times. It was really popular for a while.
And this has just got to make Polt wonder a little bit. He was preparing for those Reapers. He still is to a degree, but they just haven't shown up yet. And so we'll see what he ends up running to in just a bit. Taking a look at his vision, he's not used a scan or anything. We'll see if he uses his 630 scan to see what's inside of his opponent's base. As we do have the medevac just about to pop up. It's going to grab these 4 Hellions that eventually make their way out, and he's going to make his way around the back with these Speed Reapers.
Yep, that's right. Stim's not going to be done anywhere near in time for Polt to use in this fight. He may be able to potentially get like a Viking out to work on those medevacs. I think that'd be a good decision by him.
Well, let's see here in just a bit, as there are 4 Reapers out. A 5th is on the way. 2 more tech labs being added. So Rain is not intending to expand. We'll see if he... I mean, he may before he decides to invest in his tech, because he is already up to 350 resources now, but he is going to use a lot of resources just powering those high-tech buildings.
Well, you can certainly expand with this. It just comes very, very late, and you have to cut some production out of it. So it's about as close to all-in as you can be. And look at this. He does get up on that low ground. Oh, he has to be careful, though. That's too many Marines to engage right off with the Reapers. And here come the SCVs.
The SCVs pulled off the line. A couple of them do go down to the Hellions, but I've got to say, Rain has not got as much damage done here as I think he would have hoped. He kills 5 workers in total. The Viking is tearing after the medevac for now. And there's, of course, nothing that can shoot up out of that, so this medevac is actually going to die. Well, and all of a sudden, this looks a lot less scary now.
This is a good example of why you don't actually see this build very often anymore, just because so many of the early openings for Terran right now are just really good against that. You just simply have enough Marines. So.
And Rain canceled the Banshee, decided to expand, realizes that continuing to press the attack and going off of one base is not going to work, and he has to expand out of it.
Yep, I think that's a good decision too. Obviously, this isn't going to work for him, so he's not really going to be able to deny this either, because, tank coming down first, no problem at all for Polt to take that natural expansion, and Rain forced back. It looks like he kind of wants to go into just standard Marine tank medevac at this point. And while he has, a decent amount of tech, his natural expansion is going to be a little bit later.
Yes, it is. And let's go ahead and take a look around now as Polt, he has his expansion done. It's already in orbital command. He can call down mules on top of that. He is up in workers, if only slightly for now. Rain is going to be is not going to be that far behind. But Polt has pretty much everything else going in his favor. He's up in tanks. He's got air control. He's got more Marines than his opponent. His infrastructure was better set up for Marine tank right away. He's looking pretty good.
Well, the nice thing for Rain, too, is that he did kill enough workers of Polt to sort of stay even with that economy. So, not too far behind here. You can see supply-wise, he's about even anyway. And he's getting his +1 weapons upgrade as well. So, we're going to move into a little bit longer game here. See how that goes. Oh, the Reaper's making a run for it. They don't want to fight that Viking, but Hellions plus Reapers actually could do, well, he maybe could have killed that, but, Polt picking up. Oh, no, now he has to run. Polt coming with a pretty strong early push here, and what does Rain have to defend?
He has a couple of siege tanks on the high ground, pretty good position for them, but this Viking is going to spot that, so the jig is up, and Polt will be able to slow push into that. Forces a stim out of all of those Marines, going to use the energy on that early medevac, that very precious medevac, and already we can see this factory lifted away. Polt, nice place for his attack right here.
Yeah, a little bit dangerous to put those buildings on the low ground now, as we can see here.
Yes.
And Polt's going to be able to make a very strong push. Rain suddenly a little bit down in supply, so we'll have to see if he can hold this off. Polt does have the air advantage for the moment anyway, but Rain still has a pretty good defense at home.
Looks like Polt's going to pull away for a little while. Timely scan there out of Rain to see exactly what his opponent is up to. Looks like he tried to run in with a Reaper once again. Didn't nab that many kills. Stopped the construction of a supply depot, and that was about all.
Well, I like Polt's decision to pull back. He was like, oh, you had your buildings on the low ground. Well, I'll just kill your tech labs and make you lift, and that'll delay, your siege tank count a little bit. Just kind of generally mess you up. So Polt happy to do, that much damage. And he's in good shape right now. He's got a couple more tanks. He's still got the quote-unquote air advantage with his one Viking.
Yes, I suppose so.
It is still the air advantage, I suppose.
And hopefully that Viking gets healed up here in just a second. Oh, it's actually back on patrol duty. He's now at 23 HP.
Yep.
Feel bad for it. But taking a look around, Polt is putting up a third base now. The command center's inside of his natural. Rain has done no such thing. Be difficult for him to try and pull that off right now.
Yeah. Yep, he's just going to try to get a nice, strong army built up right now so he doesn't die. And I think we're probably going to see him stick on 2 bases for quite a while, it looks like, just from the amount of production that we're seeing going up. And this game, when it's Marine tank versus Marine tank, a lot of it does come down to upgrades and positioning. And you could see this game go either way. If Polt makes a big mistake, Rain could capitalize on that. And the same goes for Polt. He's going to be looking for mistakes out of Rain as well.
And Rain not inside of his base on high ground, actually caught in the middle of the map a little bit. Polt not pushing for now, waiting for more reinforcements to come up before he eventually does. But he's up 7 to 3 tanks right now. Rain's only been able to produce 1 at a time as well, so he's not going to be able to catch up very quickly. And Polt has an equivalent number of Marines as well, so no slouch there.
Yep, Rain feeling the need to do some damage here, knowing he's a bit behind. but this may actually end up in getting his army trapped back there. Polt, though, looks like he's just going to go for it. He's confident enough in his defenses at home that he's willing to give this a try.
All right, well, we'll see if he can do that now. If Rain can take advantage of the fact that he's forcing a base trade at the moment. So Polt cleans up everything at the front, obviously.
Easily, yeah.
But here comes Rain, going to drop right inside of Polt's base. Polt has to pull some units back, and indeed he is going to. The tanks are going to have to siege up under the high ground, though. We'll see if they can reach any production. Not really all that much, but they can hit the tanks that are coming back for Polt.
Yep, and though he doesn't take the opportunity to run up and snipe those tanks, he's going after the production buildings instead. Nice scan from Polt to work on those siege tanks here. I don't think he was expecting Rain to come up into the main like this.
Exact, but, you know, nice job taking out that tank count because the Marines are going to be able to dispatch of what Rain has left, and Rain really doesn't have much back at home, and he knows it, and GG's, and Polt has tied things up 1-1.